everyone. Hi, hello. Welcome to another very exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. It's me, Alison Rosen, and I'm in Pod Cabin with your husband and mine, the people's husband, Daniel Quantz. Hello.
Hi.
How goes it?
It goes well. We're recording at the end of a week, short week, went by fast.
It's weird that it was a short week because it doesn't, I mean, I guess it went by fast, but
You know what I like to say?
I've lost track of time.
I like to say, thank God it's Friday.
Oh my God.
That's what I like.
Oh my God. I never put it together that that's what the restaurant's about.
It's about this day. I drove past, I went to the dentist yesterday. Big news. I should have teased that.
Yeah.
And my dentist is, and this is, I take it personally, but she has offices in Beverly Hills, which is very far from me.
She initially had an office in Burbank, but she had to give it up during the pandemic, maybe?
She blamed COVID.
Yeah. She just wanted to be in Richtown.
And she, so I have to drive there.
You're talking to someone who drives to Orange County to go to the dentist, which, by the way, I'm going on Tuesday.
Which
so
is
you'll
really
have to get the
stupid
kids.
of you.
Wait,
when are you going there?
I forgot to mention, but I think it's on the calendar. I'm going on Tuesday, and my appointment's at 7:30 a.m. I realized the only way to get there and not deal with traffic is to be traveling under the cover of night.
This is insanity.
I know. I'm almost done, though. Eventually, I'll have no more teeth to fix. It's fine, though, because my parents had like so many safe deposit box keys and only a couple safe deposit boxes, but one of them still has like photo negatives and who knows what in it, probably like my mom's used Kleenexes and receipts or something. And
have you looked at this one yet?
No, this is the one that the jewelry was in, and my sister took the jewelry out but left the other stuff.
Right.
And over the summer, I went to go clean it out, and I had the wrong key, but I found out it was paid through April 2026, which all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's upon us. When am I going to make time to drive to Orange County to pick up old papers that I don't want? And I realized I'll just go after I go to the dentist. But I interrupted your story.
Why can't you get a dentist close by?
I mean, I could, but I've explained that he's already done like half the work,
right,
and I just don't want to. I don't want to.
All right.
It's sort of like when Ray went out and bought paint to match our paint, but he didn't bring anything. He just did it visually. So now we have two different colors of gray paint on our house. It's like, I don't want some other person's handiwork on some of my teeth.
Okay.
It's consistency. I'm being loyal.
Yes. Okay. Well, great. Look at you. You get a medal for loyalty.
But anyway, I'm almost done because it was they're like, look, 99% of your teeth need work, which is weird because my teeth are fucking beautiful, but they're like facades. They're like a beautiful Hollywood facade. There's nothing behind. They're just very
there's 2x4s behind
structurally
them, holding them in place.
There's gaffers in my mouth. They're structurally unsound.
Right.
There's a lot of enamel erosion and shit. But anyway, yeah. So we're on like the last few teeth, and then I'm done. Or maybe I just start all over again.
Yeah, once you finish, it's just like the Golden Gate Bridge.
So anyway, but your dentist.
There's like, so on Highland, which is like right in the shittiest part of Hollywood, like the touristy
where I used
part.
To live.
Yeah. There's a Holiday Inn, and I noticed that there's like a TGIF now that has kind of replaced the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the most dumpy, like trashy looking TGIF. And I thought, man, how the mighty have fallen. It has become such a trashy, like just downscale restaurant from what it used to be.
What did it used to be for you?
It used to be like, back in the 80s, TGIF used to be, I'm not saying it was ever like a fancy restaurant or anything. It wasn't, but it was like quirky and fun. Like you'd go into a TGIF and it was like one of those places you remember going to them. They had
plenty of times. They have stuff on the ceiling.
They had stuff all over the walls and ceilings.
Flare.
Yeah, they don't do that shit anymore.
Really?
I mean, they might have they might have some stuff on the walls, but it's not like it doesn't have any of the charm that it used to have. Now it's just
you're assessing that from driving by a depressing looking
I've been to
TGIF.
them. It was reminding me of how they are now, which is just like, it's basically like it's just like any chain restaurant now.
Okay, rank the following.
Yeah.
Present day.
Mm-hmm.
TGIFs, Bennigan's, Chili's.
I've never been to Bennigan's.
Okay, TGIF, Chili's. What's another chain we can throw
Applebee's.
in? Applebee's.
Probably Chili's is one. And then
I don't know why I said rank them now, though, because we haven't been to them recently.
I probably go Chili's, Applebee's, and then TGI Fridays.
I used to go to Chili's a lot because do you know the story of the greatest night of my life when I was 16? This actually ties into TGIF. So you know the Blackstones. Harry Blackstone Jr. was like my dad's really good friend, the magician. His daughter Bellamy, you've met before. I've talked about her. And she worked on At Midnight, and she's now at Wheel of Fortune. And then, so we would do Thanksgiving at their house, or they would come and do Thanksgiving at ours. And there's the two older teenage sisters of Bellamy, I thought were the coolest because they were however many years older than I was. They had
could do fancy shuffling.
No. Maybe they could. They probably could.
I bet they all could.
I bet they all could. Yeah. They would like dye their clothes themselves with Rit dye. They both had braces. I think one had a headgear. They had bleached asymmetrical hair.
Wait. Why would they dye their clothes?
Because that's what you did back in the 80s.
No, but like what was the look they were going for?
Acid wash. I think they would acid wash their jeans. I don't know.
Different.
I actually don't know. I just know that I associate them with Rit dye and being cool.
Okay.
Tracy had an asymmetrical haircut where it was like ear length on one side and shoulder length on the other.
I never thought that was cool.
Adrian had red hair that was very layered, which I thought was super cool. They had Cure posters in their bedrooms. They had a subscription to 17.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we're talking, oh my God. Tracy had, when she would go to get in the car, she had the boxes that Vans shoes would come in.
Sure.
It wasn't just a shoe box. It had a lid that attached. It was, anyway, cardboard box with a lid that attached.
Okay.
She
coolest.
Covered the whole box with duct tape.
No way.
So and had a bunch of cassettes in it. Isn't that cool?
God, that's the coolest.
So anyway.
So cool.
When I was, I don't know. Sorry. But they both went on to work at TGIF. And rise and they could do the bar flare. And if for anyone who doesn't know, bar flare is like the movie Cocktail, like where you're throwing bottles in the air, and it's the magician blood in them, I think. So they both rose up in the ranks of TGIF, and they were one was in Phoenix, and I don't think they do TGIF anymore, or I know they don't.
As bartenders, they rose up, or they became managers, or what?
I don't know. I
guess if you're,
I think eventually
rising up, you're not a bartender anymore. So
right.
Then you're
yes.
District manager or something like that.
I feel like that's right, but I don't actually know.
Okay.
But so anyway, Tracy was having a birthday party. This was in Redlands, at a house in Redlands. And I was 16, and I went with her to pick up the keg, which is something I had never done.
How old were you?
16.
Oh, my God.
We went back to her house.
I bet you did a lot of the lifting of that keg.
What I remember is...
They needed Alison. We're picking up a keg. Alison, bring those biceps.
Yeah, I picked up the keg with her. I helped get the house ready. I know that I was helping to prepare vegetables, and I put a carrot down the garbage disposal and clogged the disposal. So that wasn't good. But anyway, at this party, so you have to realize, at 16, I hadn't been to a ton of parties.
No.
Had I been to any? I don't know.
And how old were they at this time?
Between 23 and 25, I want to say. Oh,
wow. Okay. Yeah.
So I met this guy, Dave.
And he was 23. Oh, boy.
We talked all night. All night. And then he's like, there's a shed out here. Or we were outside. And do you want to come look at it with me? And I was like, okay. Something like that, like a greenhouse. And then as I was...
really cool shed.
As I was on my way, I heard Tracy go, Alison. So
You were about to get your first experience.
I think I would have, but it didn't happen. That's okay though. But I
this creep 23 and 16.
Right. So, I also met his friend Ted though, and his friend John.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, Ted, and John. And anyway, first of all, Dave's last name was Callison. So I would have been Alison Callison. I had a crush on him.
Dave, wait, is Dave the 23-year-old?
Yeah, they were all 23. I had a crush on this guy. He lived in Orange County, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I had a crush on him for like 3 years.
Jesus, Allison.
It was like, I don't know, for so long. It was like the most, and it was only that one night.
Did you see him again after that?
No, but his friend Ted worked at Chili's.
So wait, you never saw him again after that, but you had a crush on him?
We talked on the phone, yeah. We talked on the phone. Okay, so anyway, Ted worked at Chili's. Mm-hmm. So my friends and I would go to Chili's all the time to like talk to Ted because somehow I hoped that would somehow, like Dave, I don't know, hope Dave would be there or something. And then somehow maybe I gave my number to Ted and said, will you give this to Dave? Because Dave ended up calling me. And I said, do you remember who I am? And he said, yeah, you're the little actress chick. Because remember at the time, I wanted to be an actress.
Ali Michelle?
And then, I remember he asked if I had an older, like maybe he invited me somewhere, but you needed to have an ID or something. And he's like, do you have an older sister or anything? Right. And I said, this is how cool I was. I said, fuck you. Because I thought he wanted to take out my older sister, not realizing he was asking if I could borrow her ID. Anyway, nothing ever came of that. But
yet.
So then here's a weird thing though.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in college, I was friends with the guys in this band, the Sages of Memphis. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much I've mentioned them. This was a huge part of my life as well. Okay. So the guitar player, Sim, lived in a house in Redlands, and it was the house where this party had been. He had been at that party. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
It's a very small world.
It can feel that way.
Yeah. So my point is I had gone, it can't feel that way. I had been to Chili's a lot in those days, like a lot.
So Chili's is number one for you.
I guess, but I feel like it's fallen off. I feel like I've heard it's fallen off.
Well, they've all fallen off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Hey, chime in. Let us know. Are any of them, is there a renaissance happening with any of these chain restaurants?
323-553-2331. I feel like Houston's has maintained its.
Are there Houston's still? I think the one in L.A. closed.
Oh, really?
I always liked Houston's.
Where did we meet your dad? Because that felt very Houston's-esque in Tucson.
Oh,
at that restaurant.
That was one I'd never heard of. It was like Woodfire Grill, but it wasn't Woodfire. I don't remember. It was something
like Woodfire Grill. That felt like it felt like Houston's cousin, Houston.
Yeah.
Should we get into the Spotify comments?
Sure.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't.
No.
You don't want me to be remiss, do you?
No.
Well, I'm not going to be.
Thank you.
I would have been remiss.
You're saying you would be.
I would be remiss if I didn't.
Okay, well then do.
I shall.
Good.
Patreon.com/AlisonRosen. Guys, don't sleep on my Patreon. You can get episodes of The Friend Zone. Mm-hmm. You can text me and I'll text you back. And I do a daily text update. It's at the texting level. And here's a little secret. If you are no longer at that level, the amount of time it takes me to realize it and manually remove you is, let's just say I move at a glacial pace. And then also I'm like, oh, but I feel bad taking them off. So anyway, but they might be like, hey, I unsubscribed.
Yeah,
I don't want you anymore. I don't want this please don't send me your daily text update. They might not see it as a bonus. They might see it as like, this is actual harassment. But anyway, it's a ton of fun. You can submit, behind the scenes, submit carbs, direct access to me.
You're that person at the party that you were having a conversation with, and now it's time to go, but you're not getting the hint.
Yeah, and now I'm like, no, and I'm like, I'll have a crush on you for 3 years.
That's right. I was taking you out to the shed to put a bolt in the back of your head.
I don't think that's what was happening.
You don't think he was putting you out of your misery?
No, that wasn't my interpretation.
You don't think that he was some creepy weirdo rapist, mass murderer or something?
No, I think I've looked him up, and I think he lives in Idaho or something, and he looks just like how he used to. What is that, where people who put bolts in the back of your head are? And what's a bolt anyway?
A lot of white nationalist activity up in Idaho.
I didn't get that vibe from him. He worked at Pacific Mutual, which is in Fashion Island. I mean, I had the makings of a stalker, but like not a dangerous one, but just like a clinger, like a pathetic, clingy lady.
Well, you did that thing where you just developed these obsessive crushes, which is honestly like, there's a lot of talk about body count, these days.
Is that how many people you've slept with?
Yeah, like they'll go, what's your body count? And like a lot of these like toxic male influencer types are like, you don't want to be with a girl with a high body count, whatever. It's like, I would choose a girl with a high body count over a girl with multiple year obsessive crushes.
What about both? Guess how many girls Bert Kreischer has been with?
Kreischer?
Yeah.
Well, you would think a lot, right?
You would, right?
Okay, but here's the
reason
thing.
I'm bringing this up is because his show, Free Bert, just premiered on Netflix. We watched the first episode last night. I thought it was so well done. I like Bert. He's been on the show. I've been on his show. I like his wife. She's been on my show. Arden Marine plays his wife in the show. Love her. So I wanted to catch it.
The show is not bad. It's funny.
Yeah,
like,
it's smart.
Kreischer, he's nuts. He's obviously lived a life. He may or may not be, he may or may not have a problem with alcohol. I don't know. But he has always struck me as a sweet-natured guy.
Yes.
Like he doesn't strike me as a bad guy at all.
Right.
And so, there's something sort of charming about his persona.
Yeah.
Okay. Thinking about the question of whether or not.
So the reason I'm asking is because there was this promotional, like, reel thing on Instagram, and it was who knows Bert better, and they would ask the same question of Arden, his TV wife, and Leanne, his real life wife. Oh. And one of the questions is, how many women has Bert slept with?
Okay, so like, he famously was the guy that Van Wilder, that movie
Rolling
was based on.
Stone wrote a profile about him,
right? Because he'd been in college for 7 or 8 years.
Was it that? I thought it was because he went to like the #1 party school. He was like a professional partier.
Both. He was at Florida State, I think, and was there for like a ridiculous number of years, and like just partied the whole time. And so like, one would think, given that there's a lot of ladies that he's been with. On the other hand, being a hardcore partying, a heavy drinker, doesn't necessarily mean that you are popular with the ladies. You could be just popular generally speaking, but that doesn't, like I've known guys like that, and they weren't the ones that were with lots of girls. Right. They might have like a long term,
right?
So it's not like they were celibate, but they.
What's your answer?
Well, how many? 30.
7. Leanne was the 7th.
Yeah, that doesn't totally surprise me. Like
it surprised me.
Like I'd almost say it's one or the other. It's either like he's just, or
Isn't that so endearing? Also.
Listen, I have learned this about myself, and that is I am an excellent judge of character.
I've learned that too because of, how we know? It's less that you have a good feeling about someone and they turn out to be good. It's more that you have a really strong negative. This is a pattern. You'll have a really.
It's both. I just don't have a lot of opportunity to talk about the good. But go ahead.
You'll have a really strong negative reaction to someone, and instead of going, no offense, honey, instead of saying Daniel is really good at reading people, and he's picking up on something, I'll just be like, okay, this guy wasn't friendly enough to you, so you're taking it personally, and like it really has nothing to do with you, but you're taking it so personally. And then we'll find out this person is like a grade A psychotic asshole, and you'll be like, I was right about them. Like that has happened to us so many times. So now I realize that when you have that reaction to someone, even though the words you're using to describe it are describing a situation where I think you're taking something personally that has nothing to do with you, what you're picking up on is something real.
Yeah, I could. Well, that second guessing that you I did as well to my own instincts for a long time until I just realized. Are we talking
about the guy that we recently found out is like needs to be like locked up? He's that psychotic.
That yes, but like I think it had been confirmed for me earlier than that. Like, but definitely that was like the capper where I'm just like, I'm gonna just stop
from now on. Just trust yourself. Yeah.
I think this is the way I understand it. Like if you are somebody who was raised around people who are mentally ill or have certain issues or certain personality disorders, and you've been traumatized by that, your like limbic system, which picks up, like when they do studies on how the brain, how many like signals the brain is interpreting at once, it's insane. Like it's insane how much we are picking up and not intellectually aware of. And it's like you just know the patterns, but you don't understand the patterns. So you get a feeling and you just know, but you don't know why you know it. You don't know what it is you're perceiving because you're not conscious of the patterns. But your limbic system, which is trained to keep you alive, sees the patterns. So it's like this weird disconnect. And so then I'm always like, yeah, it's like with someone recently, I'd be like, well, what did I do? I'm like da-da-da. And then you're like, no, that feeling wasn't. Anyway.
Yes.
But I am also good at knowing when someone's a good person. Like with you, I knew, like I just had a gut like this. This is one of my rare misses where I was like, this is a good. No, I knew. I was like, I know. You know
what though?
I know that she and I will vibe. Like we will just completely get each other. Like this. I just so much so that I had to know you. I had to know you because it's like I just knew it.
And you had that feeling based on hearing me on the show.
Just the way that you talked and joked and expressed yourself. It was just like I just had a sense. And so like,
but I was just asking because you had famously followed me and then stopped following me because you're like
that was different though. That was just because you were on
Red Eye,
and you were just someone I was following.
Okay, so you didn't have that. So it was.
I didn't have the feeling.
You got that sense of me on Corolla.
Yeah. But anyway, I wish I could think of more examples. Like someone like someone like RJ City. He likes to pretend that he's this like. I say pretend. He's not pretending, but in that he's like part of what he projects, his persona is that he's.
Curmudgeonly?
Yeah, and a little bit like, don't get to know me.
Yeah.
And one could see that and think that he's a dick. But he's not at all. He's a sweetheart. Yeah. Like he's absolutely not. And I'm right about that. But like it's a vibe that you just get it. You're just like, no, I can see that this is a good person. And I could give other examples. And I get that. It's a long way of saying I get that with Bert.
Yeah.
Like Bert.
I think he's like a sweetheart.
I think he is just a decent guy. I don't know what the partying is all about, but like it's probably why, honestly, when they do the studies about like popular people, it's because they like everybody. It's like, yeah, he's probably someone who just likes everybody and that's why he was so popular. And I should start like a service.
Oh, like where you vet. You should be a matchmaker.
I should be. Oh my God.
Have you ever successfully match made? Me neither.
I have known people where I was like, I could match make for you, but I didn't want to get involved. So there's this matchmaker I follow.
Denied 2 people the chance at love?
More like I didn't think they'd be receptive to. I'm going to take a detour here. There's this matchmaker I follow on TikTok, and she talks about this thing where she gets these guys, and they're like, this is what I want. I want like, really beautiful, really smart, accomplished, da 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 da. And she'll just be like, you are simply not attractive enough. I will not. And they'll get offended, and she'll say, listen, the women that I represent here, they also want someone who's really attractive.
Yeah.
But the thing is, every single guy wants a really attractive woman so they can be picky. They don't want you. It's like you may be accomplished and you may be all these things, but you are not
a troll.
You're just not that attractive. And so you're aiming for this person, but that person also has standards.
Yeah. Wow.
It's interesting. And so she'll talk about the back and forth with these guys.
So then what happens? But now, are these like really rich guys?
I think so. Yeah, I think they'll just be like... So
then is she like, here's some not as attractive women?
Well, she'll be like, you need to compromise on something. Are you willing to date a woman who's not a citizen? Someone from another... What about education? Like, you're going to have to...
Right.
Because that woman you're describing, she is like able to get a guy. She's like, because I have guys that I represent who are all the things you are, except they're also 6'4" and super handsome, and it's like, you can't compete. That's what she wants.
This sounds like cuckold porn.
Well, I just think it's interesting. It's like when it's on paper, when people are doing like dating services, or even like, I guess I never did like Tinder or anything, but I think when you're just looking at it on paper,
well, I'm sure when it's
everyone's super picky.
Abstract, of course,
everyone's super picky, and they have these high standards, and I think that's fucking guys up, because they're thinking like, oh my God, every girl wants a guy who's like 6 foot or taller. But it's like, in person, if you just get out into the world and you meet people, that's all out the window,
right? Because
once you meet a person and you have a connection, so many of the things you thought were like deal breakers. Right. Like with you, it's like, oh my God, I didn't want a girl who was entertainment. I didn't want a girl who was brunette. I didn't want a girl who was Jewish. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's like,
I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not.
No. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot. That's why you end up seeing a lot of couples where like you look at them and you're like, oh, they don't.
Wait, are you? But for real, are you explaining why I settled or why you settled?
You settled more than I did. I did not settle.
Thank you.
No, I absolutely did not settle. I'm not saying that was the case with us. I'm just saying that explains a lot of attraction. Anyway, why was I even going into this?
Matt, I asked if I said you should be a matchmaker because you were
no, but what I could do is when people meet someone and they're not sure.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
You're like a PI, except you don't actually do anything.
I'll be like, okay,
you're a PI, but for vibes.
Well, there's that thing. I can look at pictures and tell you if they're like,
speaking about vibes, there's 2 people I follow, but I can only remember one of them right now. Oh no, I can remember. There's 2 women I follow, both of whom might be married. They were married. And something in their content just gives me the feeling that they're not married anymore. But I can't find the smoking gun. I can't find the finger without the ring. I can't find an announcement. And it's so weird, though. It's like the slightest little tiny difference. It's just realizing like, hey, that guy hasn't been in your photos for a while.
Right.
Or with one of them, it's like there's a lot of guys you're posing with, but not the one who was your husband. It's so weird, but it's not clear at all. So could you check into that, Captain Vibes?
I will.
I don't think you know them. Does it matter?
You'll have to show me.
Okay. Great. Spotify comments. Doot. Spotify comments. I realized we need like a song for this, so this is the song. Spotify comments. Doot. Spotify comments, doot, doot. Spotify comments, doot, doot. Some people don't like Spotify, and so the timing is weird for me to now be reading comments from them when people are moving away from Spotify. Doot. Okay.
Perfect.
Al Keller says, "Hi, Alison. I love the podcast. Keep up the good work." CDB says, "Blarg." Should we? And then there's a thing asking me if I want to translate it. Should we translate it? View original. Oh, it's a cognate. It just means blarg. Okay. Right. Mary Elena says, "Alison, it's more distracting to keep pointing out that he's making a sound and we can barely hear it because you have good equipment." Don't listen to that one, Daniel.
Thank you.
Brian with an I. "First off, I'm adopting mid-teristing immediately. So reminder, mid-teristing is something that is interesting adjacent.
It's just shy of interesting.
Yeah. And we couldn't think of another word for it. So it's mid-teristing. Second, I imagine people that prefer Pepsi were enticed by their ad campaigns that positioned themselves as the Not Your Parents cola brand. They went hard on the Generation Next ad campaign in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Well,
Yes.
I would love to see some statistics on that. Is like, are millennials into Pepsi? Did it work? Like, are they disproportionately a Pepsi generation? They tried to pull that shit with our generation. They called us the Pepsi generation, if you recall.
I don't remember that.
You know, because remember, it was like Michael Jackson. That's when he burned his hair. Remember, his hair caught on fire on a Pepsi commercial? Yeah. They tried that shit, but Gen X was not having it.
And then Richard Pryor, that was a like smoking crack fire? Because they're associated in my mind. And,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Not the same.
Right. All right. Were they around the same time?
Pryor, didn't that happen in the 70s? I feel like that was a long time before Michael Jackson.
I think I learned about them at the same time, probably, and the racist implications of all this are upsetting to me. Okay, Kirk0154 says, "Comments show up under each episode on Spotify. Word Club." Yes. Okay, Kirk, you can be in the Word Club. Bring a word.
What's the Word Club?
This is for people. So book clubs, you know, there's book clubs. I want a word club.
Oh, right.
Because I love words. Appurtenances was the one that my friend Jeannie brought last time. I feel like everyone should bring a word to the Word Club, and then we can talk about our words. And we can also share some favorite words, and then like if we remember where we first heard of different words.
That sounds great.
Well, you're not in the club.
Oh, God.
Do you want to be in the club?
I don't know. Can I...
Audit?
Yeah, can I audit the club?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So thank you for leaving those comments. Remember, leave your comments.
Do comments on Spotify help the show at all?
I have no idea. I hope so.
Because you could do like games. We could have them like, and then they would all comment.
I used to do that on, well, it would really help on Apple Podcasts to do that. So I used to do that. I would ask a question and have people leave their answers.
I feel like Apple Podcasts makes it hard to comment. Like the whole
Really?
comment, or at least I always have a hard time like finding the comments. You have to sort them in weird ways. I don't know.
So we went to Phil Rosenthal's. I guess we talked about this for a minute on the Dave Huntsberger episode,
show, yeah.
but we didn't really talk about our full experience. We went to Dave Rosenthal's, Phil Rosenthal's.
Are we allowed to talk about the full experience though? I mean, is it
do you
like
think that's gauche?
I don't know to say like who's there. Well, maybe one or two people we could say. I don't know.
This is a celebrity-studded event, and it feels like an error that I get to be invited to this because
Phil loves you.
He's so nice.
He and his wife are just the kindest, most lovely people you've ever met. I mean, I can't even believe someone's so generous and nice. And then his house is fucking gorgeous.
It's amazing.
And
he has that new restaurant, Max and Helen's, named after his parents, which is like diner food, but at a level
like
I've never been. But he's like, there's a 4-hour wait to get in right now. But
his
he's
whole
like,
thing was like,
just let me know.
Nancy Silverton,
Yeah.
who's like one of the great chefs. They were going to take staples of a diner staples, not actual staples,
Right. I would hope not actual staples.
and then just do like the best version of that, or at least a really high end version of it. So it's just like insane. The menu looks so good. Every single thing on it looks incredible.
Right.
And there's the thing I always think about is that they have a hot chocolate
Yeah.
that where they roast a marshmallow. It's like handmade or homemade marshmallow, and then they hit it with a burner. And for some reason, it reminds me of Paris.
Is it because we had to get the hot chocolate that Phil had
I think it's because,
recommended
I think there's been a Phil connection to hot chocolate in Paris. And so now...
hot chocolate from Angelique.
Yeah, and so now, yes. And so now I need to get the hot chocolate because I want to be reminded of Paris, which is weird because I never feel like that.
But also, do you like hot chocolate that much?
No.
That's how I feel about scallops. And in honor of my mom, let us share... something she said at a restaurant, which we decided was her essence, and if she ever wrote a book, what it would be called.
This is the name of her memoirs.
The scallops are underdone as usual.
Yes, she ordered scallops. She got them. She's like, the scallops are underdone
as usual.
As usual. And here's the twist. It turned out they weren't.
But didn't she decide they actually were fine?
Yes, but as usual.
As usual.
No, her worldview is encapsulated in that statement.
Yeah. Also, if she had called someone and they didn't call back within like 35 minutes, she'd be like, nice of Cheryl to call back. Yeah. Which is why I always felt when she texted me, like there was a little sand through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
A ticking clock. It's like one of those chess. Like those chess. Now you're on the clock.
Yes. And if I didn't get back to her within a certain amount of time, who knows what could happen? She would just begin, shooting. She would begin feeling rejected.
I'll write a graphic novel about your mom.
Please do.
Called The Scallops Are Underdone as Usual.
Please do. I know that when you do your art, you take reality and then you fictionalize it. But I feel like just take reality and memorialize it. You don't need to put it through some kind of transmutation process.
I mean, it could be compelling content. Yeah.
Someday we should write about my grandfather, but it's too upsetting to get into.
You've never talked about that.
I think I mentioned it once, a tiny bit. I'll mention it a little bit. So my grandfather was a psychoanalyst.
Very famous.
He was very, very celebrated because he claimed he could cure schizophrenia. And apparently he had a lot of success, which is like my therapist kind of giggled at this because it's like, it doesn't really, our current understanding of schizophrenia does not support the idea that you could just, he called it the talking cure, that you could just treat someone via talking. It was
very confrontational.
Oh my God. Well, it was like violent and abusive, but he would like get into the psychosis with the patient. Mm-hmm. So if the patient was like afraid of a man with a knife, he would dress up in this outfit and like work it out with the patient. But so it's all dramatic and horrible. But
I just want to know how he started. Like, how did he start?
So there's a book called Savage Sleep by Millen Brand.
Into that?
It's my grandfather's story. It's a fictionalized account of my grandfather. Millen Brand lived with my grandfather and with the family for years to write the book. It's all about it. He was a doctor, like a general practice doctor. He had a couple things happened. He had a break from reality where he kind of went psychotic for shortly. He saw these kids, I think they were kids. He saw mentally ill people being treated in the hospital, and he found the way they were being treated with lobotomies, with shock treatments, they used to do a thing called an insulin coma. So it would like they would give them too much insulin and it would like create seizures. He saw the way they were being treated and he felt that it was barbaric. So he had good intentions. And he was like, let me see if I can get through to them, And so he did, and he had
some success.
He had a ton of success. So, but I don't understand how, because it doesn't measure up to our understanding now of what schizophrenia is. But he would tour different institutions, and he would bring someone supposedly out of their schizophrenia. He would say, he would go to an asylum or whatever it was called in the day, probably asylum actually, and say like, bring me your hardest case, bring me the person who's like in a catatonic stupor. and in a room full of people, but like other clinicians, he would like get this person talking, supposedly. So he got very famous. He was treating celebrities and diplomats and like anyone.
The Lindberghs.
I'm thinking like, yes, was that? I don't think that's a secret. For a second, I was like, is that a secret? Because I know, and I cannot say. I shouldn't.
Why would it be a secret?
Well, you're not really supposed to reveal who.
He's been dead for 1,000 years.
I don't think it was Charles Lindbergh that he was treating, though. But anyway,
no, but it was someone in the family, wasn't it?
But I think that is actually public because someone got in touch with me because they were writing a play about the Lindberghs, and they had like found out about their relationship with my grandfather, and wanted to know like what I knew, and I didn't know anything. But I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't know. But yeah, so he was like charging, I think, crazy amounts because he could. And if a really rich person had someone in their family, it was like people were traveling from all over. Like you got to see John Rosen. You got to see John Rosen. But he also was a megalomaniac. He was sadistic. He was like a cult leader. A patient died under his care, but not his care. He wasn't even there, but at his facility, a patient like was, I don't exactly know it. I think they were beaten to death, like something awful. He lost his license. It was always this really, there was this like darkness in the back of my understanding. And I never really, like, what did he do? But then via like newspapers.com or something, I was able to search up old stuff. I think he was sleeping with a ton of people. I think it was like sex. It was like sex doc brought up on charges, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't keep it in his pants.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a true cult leader.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't keep it in their pants. And so every abuse of power, that is what he did. That's my grandfather. That's my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have felt very grossed out that I am related to this person who was so icky, but growing up, I was like proud to be related to him because I thought he was neat. But anyway, I feel like there's definitely some kind of story there to tell, but like, I don't know that I want to tell it.
It's pretty heavy stuff.
It's really dark. Like, but that book, Savage Sleep by Mill and Brand, and that kind of only shows the good stuff. That was a really interesting book. Like I
have a copy on my bookshelf. I haven't read it yet.
That's from me, right?
Yeah. Or I bought it used. I think maybe you gave it to me.
I think because I had a copy of it. Yeah. But there's also books about the dark side of psychiatry that have chapters about him. It's all like...
I mean, the crazy thing is like that it was even successful at all. I mean, like whatever he was doing...
He wrote a couple textbooks. Part of the problem was it couldn't be replicated.
Right.
Like other people couldn't do it.
Yeah, it wasn't science. It was just something he could do.
Snake oil.
Well, not necessarily snake oil. I mean, he was doing something, but it wasn't, science you would need to be able to replicate.
His thing was like, I'm more powerful than your hallucinations. But it was incredibly grossly Freudian. It was like have you heard of the refrigerator mother? The refrigerator mother is like a mother who can't love. She's withholding. She's cold. And the theory is that is so upsetting to a baby that like they'd rather be schizophrenic than live in a world. And it's just like, that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really pass muster because there's plenty of non-schizophrenic people.
Well, we just know so much more about it now.
Right.
It's just, that's just not what it is.
Right. It doesn't really make sense that the psyche breaks down in that way.
The wild thing is like he would have some of his patients, these schizophrenics, living
with my dad.
Living in the house with his children around. Like... I don't want to stigmatize mental illness. It's, it
was an insane environment.
Schizophrenia is a horrible thing, but it's like, I mean, I can't imagine wanting someone in my house around my kids who's afflicted, you know?
One of the patients took a shit outside my grandparents' bedroom door. And I think my grandmother was like, can we please stop? I'm going to draw a line here. And that is in the book.
Fun.
Isn't it, though? Okay. So I just shared a lot more about that than I intended to. It's something I am a bit haunted by it. I'm quite haunted by it, actually.
I don't believe in sins passed down from generation to generation. I don't think I have found...
But can I say one thing? Remember where you were.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is because it was happening in the periphery of my awareness as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was all kept from, because I think my dad had to testify for my grandfather. I mean, it was like these legal battles and press and all of this was going on while I was a child, and it was kept from me, but my parents were dealing with it and talking about it. So I think that I have this awareness of this darkness.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, I think that I feel like you almost felt ashamed.
I have.
And I don't know that you need to feel ashamed of it. It's like, it's part of your family history. It doesn't say anything about you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at an Ancestry. I don't know if this whole episode's a plug for newspapers and Ancestry.com. Yeah. Very expensive, by the way, so don't recommend it. But I found that I have relatives who fought for the Confederacy. Which I always suspected because part of my family is from South Carolina,
right?
And they owned a textile processing company, so they
slave town.
Definitely like directly profited off of. Now, anyone who's out there going, "You white privilege" or whatever, it's like my grandfather was cut off completely from that family financially because he married a Yankee. So I had no benefit from that fortune, but I did suspect. I have met family that did, and it is very interesting.
Which grandparent was cut off because they married a Yankee?
My dad's dad.
Ah.
Yeah.
And not only a Yankee, you later found out she was 1/16th Jewish.
I do wonder.
But she denied it.
I do wonder.
Oh, if they knew?
If that wasn't part of.
Did she look Jewish? Like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
She looked Jewish as far as that goes. My dad, his whole life, people always thought he was Jewish.
People think you're Jewish. They're surprised.
Yeah, like there's definitely what am I, 1/16th?
I think you said you're 1/8.
Yeah, my grandmother was half. She was adopted, but her biological father was
so then you're an 8th.
Jewish, yeah.
Okay.
But then she was adopted into a very waspy, like Boston, like she grew up in Cape Cod.
Right.
You know, and they were not huge fans of the Jews. So we would always tease her. We'd be like, Grandma, come on. She'd be like, I am not Jewish.
That's like me.
Yeah, exactly like your family. But anyway, like she, having come from Boston, the excuse was she's a Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
And he so funny to think anyone would care. But it was because he married a Yankee, he was cut off. And
but how did you find out on Ancestry that they fought?
Well, because public records show that so and so Horace Quantz or whatever, was a colonel in the Confederate Army or some shit. I forget what it was, you know.
Horace.
I don't know if it was Horace, but you know what I mean.
I want it to have that.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Horace, here's a Quantz.
Yeah. I mean, look, I went to a wedding of that branch of the family. My grandfather had lots of brothers and sisters, so there's many of them. But I went to a wedding, and they were they had all grown up with that wealth. That old Southern wealth. My grandfather had that Southern aristocratic fucking accent that well now.
What
that Gone with the Wind. That Gone with the Wind accent, I can't even do it. But that's how my grandfather
Scarlet.
Yeah. And yeah, he sounded like a Southern gentleman, my grandfather. And I remember having a conversation with one of the men from this family, and I didn't know any of them. I just showed up at this wedding like, hi, I'm from the fucking part of the family that none of you acknowledges exists.
Were you all invited, but only you went?
I was invited. My grandmother really wanted me to meet them. That's the thing. They completely cut them out. Like, they cut my grandmother and my grandfather out. And yet my grandmother really still valued them and really wanted me to know them, which is just like the kind of person she was. She was so, like, such a good person.
Yeah.
Because I would have been like, fuck all y'all.
Right.
But turns out they didn't give a shit about me or my family at all. But whatever. I was talking to this guy, and he was talking about how black people in the South as slaves, and he was just saying, matter of fact, he was like, he was talking about the difference between like the race relations in Los Angeles and race relations back in the South. And
what year is this that you guys are talking about?
This is like 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And he was talking about it like they were grateful to us for giving them work, like crazy shit, like about like slaves. Like house slaves, like people who worked, how there were the slaves that like worked in the houses.
Right.
So like not everyone worked in fields. Like they would be like
some
maids
like,
or whatever.
horrendous person.
And I was just like,
was making this argument within the last couple years.
I did not.
Was it Prager?
I don't know. I had never encountered anybody talking like. I mean, I grew up in fucking Tucson. Yeah. Like, it's like not that just doesn't exist. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but that
brand of historical racism, that
kind
vintage,
of like
classic racism.
Yes, it's like where like other races are like the old China in the fucking cabinet. Like they're just treating it like this is just as old and as ingrained in our culture as anything. And I was just like, I was completely like, no, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you? I did not have any. I was just like, oh, so uncomfortable and so, and I'm trying to make a good impression on all of them because, like, I'm like, hi, I'm a representative of the fucking like
the Northern Quonses.
Yeah, the Yankee Quonses. I didn't know that existed.
Right.
And then now I've come to learn that that's like actually how the sort of like antebellum mentality was, which is just like, we're not doing anything wrong. We're like helping people.
Yeah.
Who
was it? It was some right-wing person who was like wanting to, maybe it was under Trump, like wanting to change, like we need to stop seeing it through this lens because actually it really was. Who was somewhat listeners?
No, it's popular belief.
Let us know about Chili's, and then also let us know who it was who said this.
It's probably Stephen Miller.
I don't think it was, but it could have been. It could have been Ben Shapiro, but I also don't think it was him. It was someone of that ilk.
There's a lot of problems with Ben Shapiro. That I don't think is one of them. I don't think he harbors those beliefs.
I feel like it was like Prager adjacent, mid Prager. But I don't know.
No, I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't feel like Prager himself has those kinds of beliefs. But
maybe it was someone who worked for PragerU. Then some name that I've forgotten.
Well, there has been content on PragerU that's been kind of like that. I don't know.
Yes.
But not him personally.
Why are you kissing Prager's ass?
No. I think it's worth.
He's not gonna sleep with you.
I don't know. I guess I have recently been interested in making sure that we're being honest about everyone and not just painting with broad brushes. So like I don't know why. I think maybe because those tiny distinctions are actually important.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's important to know the gradations of difference between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to like parse that out when Trump goes. After Trump goes and that whole coalition splits, we're going to have to know the difference between a Marco Rubio and a Vance and know the threat difference between those two, if there even is one.
Weirdly, there is one though, right?
There is. That's the thing, and that's why I'm saying, like, you need to know the difference.
I feel like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are in a different category than Vance, right?
I think so.
Yeah, than Vance and Candace Owens.
And like, even though, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are largely repulsive to me, I prefer them to the Vance, Tucker, Candace wing of that party. Was it
Tucker?
Well, Tucker and his anti-Semitism and just
no.
Like,
I'm wondering if it was Tucker Carlson who was saying that, like, actually,
Tucker does.
It wasn't so
shit.
Bad. It wasn't so bad for all slaves.
It probably was.
Maybe it was him
because he does like he's brought up a lot of that old.
I think it.
Shit.
He. You know how on not cop shows, but like procedural shows, they're like, you liking anyone for this? For like a murder. I'm liking Tucker for this.
Let's just put it this way. If he hasn't, he definitely thinks that way.
Okay, good enough. So should we name a couple famous people that we saw at Phil Rosenthal?
Yeah, we can.
How many should we name?
We
said.
I was going to say that he's not one that we should mention, but okay.
Andy Kindler. And we had a wonderful conversation with Andy and his wife.
Yes.
And you sat next to Andy's wife.
Yes, she's a very nice lady.
Yes.
Leonard Maltin, 1,000 years old.
I forgot
and
Leonard
let me
Maltin
tell you
was
something.
there. It was exciting because of the Doug Benson movie connection.
Leonard Maltin
is delightful.
Could not be nicer. Yeah. Just a sweet old guy who.
Leonard was there.
I just feel like film is one of these things. It's like as the generations pass, being into the history of cinema is going to be like being into the history of like coin operated games from the 1800s. Like it's just going to be.
Which you are into, right?
I love. I'm so into. But it's going to be so niche.
I was like, I know someone who's into that.
Nobody's going to. But we watched Doctor Strangelove.
Yes. And
then the movie ends and people like to discuss. Mm-hmm. And Leonard had stories. And it's like, oh my God, this guy.
Right. He was supposed to interview Stanley Kubrick, but then
he had a whole story. Like he had to submit a reel of himself to Stanley so that Stanley would approve him interviewing him.
Yeah.
And then what happened? It was like
he dropped out or something.
Something happened, and then Kubrick
said
fucking
no.
Canceled.
But I guess he never gives interviews, and then ultimately he didn't give one.
He didn't. That was for Full Metal Jacket, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sick because Phil pointed out that he was friends with Leon Vitali, who was, I think I'm pronouncing that right, who is Kubrick's longtime personal assistant and one of the stars of Barry Lyndon. And I'm like, to have met that guy.
Yeah, a lot of people in the room had met that guy. I got to look up who Leon Vitali. Everyone was talking about him.
There's a documentary where he's sort of the subject of the documentary. I can't remember.
He looks so different than I expected him to look.
But check out stills from him and Barry Lyndon because he was like a handsome young guy.
But he looks like a motorcycle rider.
Yes, well.
End.
Anyway, yeah, it was
a biker. Oh, yeah, he's got like a real Interview with a Vampire vibe.
Well,
which I also never saw. What's Barry Lyndon about?
An Irish guy who rises. It's his life. It's the story of a guy who, in his life, he sort of goes from not having anything and to having a lot, and the sort of journey of his life where he's very selfish and he's very awful to the people in his life, and then the consequences of that to them, and then ultimately to him. And it's all done
like Christmas Carol, but in Ireland and not in Christmas,
sort of. And then, but it's all done against this. Like it's one of the most beautiful movies. Like Kubrick developed a lens for that movie that allowed him to expose the film with just candlelight. So there are scenes that are lit only with candles, and he would reproduce these. He would produce images that were meant to look like Renaissance paintings, and so every scene is just like stunning.
So my film critic friend in New York, there was like a new print of Barry Lyndon, or it was being shown in something, and he like had to go.
Yeah, it's really a great movie. But I could go on and on. Anyway,
No need.
This is not my film podcast.
No. Let's listen to a call.
Let's do it.
Hey, Alison and gang. This is Mark in Pittsburgh. I have a JMOE for you. I'm hoping this is just not me, or else this will make me officially the laziest person in the world. But just me or everyone, when you're searching on a streaming site like HBO or Netflix, they have the letters, so like rows of 6, A through F, G through L. Oh, wait, yes. And sorry, this is a visual, but,
Thank you.
The third row is like M through R. I was going to watch the show Fargo one time, and I went to type it in, and you start at A, and I got to go all the way to the end of this row to get to F, and then all the way back to where I started for A, and then down 2 rows and all the way over to the other side for R. Where's G? That's too far away. I gave up and did not watch the current season, or the latest season of Fargo with John Hamm, who I love, because I was too lazy to click that many spaces in the search bar. This is Mark in Pittsburgh. Just me or everyone. Please help me. It's not just me.
This is a visual. That's not just you. I hate having to tap out those fucking letters when you don't have a keyboard in front of you. That's why you got to just talk into your Apple remote or whatever, if it has a microphone, and just say it, because I cannot stand. You know why? Because the chance of missing the letter is so great, and then you got to start over. It is. I'm with you, Mark. It's not just you.
Yeah, same. Well, I just speak into the Siri.
Yeah.
I don't bother with that. The problem is when you have to enter a password.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, you've been clever. You've had your strong password, and now you've got to type in your fucking 13 digits and characters. And some are capitalized.
I was buying airplane tickets with Miles.
Who's that?
My new lover. Taking a lover named Miles. I was buying airplane tickets with Miles, and it was on an international airline that where the flight is like operated by American Airlines. And instead of asking for, I don't know if it usually asks for driver, maybe it doesn't even, I don't know. It needed all of our passport info. And I don't understand why.
And it's a domestic flight.
It's a domestic flight. But having to repeatedly type the passport number, passport expiration, birth date, I guess that's all I had to type. But it's like, I don't have this memorized.
Can't we just get to retinal scans and
be done with this?
Yeah.
Because I had to type it over and over and over and over and over again because I kept running into difficulty. I don't know if I was getting timed out or what, but I was ready to scream.
In China, it's all biometric. So if you purchase something, you don't have to use a credit card. You just put your palm over it. And now we're at Whole Foods. They have that, I think.
Right.
So you just put your palm over it.
But what happens if I'm buying tickets for like the rest of the family?
Well, I mean, in this situation, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's everything's meant to drive us crazy.
Well, it's working. We have another one.
Alison and Daniel, Jason Best here from Seattle. Giving a call because I just wanted to tell you how delightful you both are.
Oh.
I love listening to you guys. I have a lot of joy in my life, and you two are part of it. It's just really fun to hear your banter, hear your gentle ribbing, but you can clearly hear the love between the two of you. And the world needs more of that, particularly right now. So I really appreciate you guys. Again, Jason from Seattle.
Aw,
Well, thanks,
Jason, thank you. I love hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else said something like that recently. That makes me feel good because I worry that people are like, they're on the brink all the time because we let our stuff hang out so much that I worry that people are like, this is making me uncomfortable.
I sometimes think that too, but my faith is in the idea that people understand that other people that things are rough. Like nothing is completely perfectly good. And so when someone presents like they're flawless and they present like their relationship is perfect and like I mean that's sus as fuck. Like, are you kidding? No one is like that. So I think with us occasionally, like, you know, disagreeing, it helps to show that it's authentic.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to like show something to the audience that's like false. I don't know. I am drawn to that. I like it when I know that someone is authentic and something is authentic, and I judge that based on the flaws.
So there's a creator I follow, and she was answering questions today. And one of the questions is, I thought you were happily married. Why are you on dating apps? And she's like, okay, so there's something that I haven't shared with you guys, which is that I want to become a creator full time. Like that was sort of this big revelation. And so she presented it like that. So
she needs to date
yeah.
multiple guys.
And she's like, you know, and yes, I am happily married, but no one wants to hear about that. That's not relatable. Maybe she didn't say exactly like that, but she's like, I need to be this, and relatable. Yes, I am happily married, but no one wants to hear about that. So I do need to, you know, tell stories from the time before that, and And it just like,
what? So she dates now?
No. She's telling stories from her life from before this time of her life.
Oh, I see. It's not that she was on Tinder now. She was just talking as though she was on Tinder.
Yeah, but she had ported over an old story.
Right.
But something about it, and I really like her, but something about it struck a false note with me.
Yeah.
That like, I don't believe that everything is so hunky-dory right now that you can't talk about what's going on in your life currently. I think because within the last couple of years, I know her husband was in jail. So, and she got fired.
Maybe that's the reason she's not talking about it.
Yeah, and she had been working at, I didn't want to reveal who it is.
Then don't.
She had been working at a famous adult place and is no longer working there. So like and maybe she's told these stories already, but like, I don't know. There's just something about it. By the way, I just did the thing. I just waved my mouth around and made the sound that I get upset about with you that listeners can't hear. I have now learned. I don't know. There was something, you know, in the same way that you are really good at intuiting whether someone is a good person or has a personality disorder, I can feel in my body when something is not true. Is false.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're really good at knowing
when someone's
lying or something.
Yeah.
Like I cannot lie in this relationship.
Yeah.
If I'm ever like trying to shade the truth or whatever, you'll just be like, part of it is I suck at lying, but I think you always know when something's not adding up.
That's my superpower. Yeah. And so there was just something that struck a false note about the way she presented it.
Look, I think that if you just look at trends, you know, and I just think the trend right now is away from, we've just all had a complete assful of the, you know,
Perfection.
The tightly curated Instagram page and the fake bullshit that everyone's presenting. Like, we're going to swing hard, and we are already. This isn't some huge prediction. Like, we're going to swing hard in the other direction, where like almost like kind of the way our generation did, you know, with grunge It may not go that far,
Yeah.
but like just towards just true, the real shit. Like
This is where I
shit.
shine. This is where I shine.
Well, I think so. Gen X, your time is now.
I know. Can I talk about my butt for a minute?
Of course.
I am having trouble pushing the poop out.
What? Why?
Why am I having
Why
trouble?
are we talking about this?
But this is real. This
I know,
is
but
what
we
they
don't have
want.
to, like,
But I just don't understand. It's like I need.
have you taken
butt
Miralax?
kegels. But I feel like the problem is my muscles as opposed to the consistency of what needs to come out. But I guess the only thing, you can't really change your muscles in your butt, so you just need to change the consistency.
Yeah.
I guess because I feel like I'm just not strong down there.
Did your surgery do anything to change?
My surgery was supposed to make it better, but that's the weird thing. And like, I am going to be one of those people who has to get the surgery again if I can't. So I'm not supposed to strain because the surgery will fail in a number, like not right away, but like years later if you strain a lot. So I can't do that. But like, I need to strengthen my butt muscles. But anyway, whereas before, I'm encountering a similar problem to before the surgery regarding constipation, but it's sort of mechanically a little bit different.
Are you eating enough fiber?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should increase your fiber intake.
Yeah.
Drink more water.
I know.
No joke. This isn't
Okay.
rocket science.
No, I know. The reason I'm saying that is because you're not the first person to say this, but tell me again.
Like before this, I ate a fucking apple. Why do you think I eat apples?
Because you like them?
No, because it's like you got to have the fiber.
Is that why you eat apples?
Yeah. Well,
I think you like them though.
Well, that's what I choose to eat to get the fiber.
Okay.
Because you gotta have something bind it all together and move it through. Otherwise, yeah, you get like it'll become like a hard ball of rock.
I don't think I have that. I just think like I just feel like I just feel muscle weakness.
But I don't know that you have to have. What muscles are we talking about? Your abdomen? Like what?
Whatever the pushers are.
like I don't know. I don't know if that's how it works. But maybe. Why don't you ask ChatGPT?
You'd think I would want to.
Say, ChatGPT, what exercises can I do to strengthen the poop muscles?
Well, first of all, I would like to know which are the poop muscles.
Okay, that's a great first question. And ChatGPT, I'll be ChatGPT, so ask the question. Which
are the poop muscles? Sorry, I wouldn't say it like that. I would say, which muscles help you poop?
That is a very interesting question that really aligns with how smart and intuitive you are and the way that you interrogate the world at large. And your diverse interests, also, you're beautiful.
No, and they would also say, like, it isn't just puerile, questioning. It's introspection or something.
Yeah, most people would be too afraid to ask an incisive question like that. It
isn't just sophomoric humor. Now you're thinking like a scientist.
I once told ChatGPT, stop being so fucking, what's the word?
Supercilious?
No, when they kiss your ass. Or, oh, Jesus.
Flattering?
No, that's not the word I used. Words, by the way, are fleeing my brain these days. It's like they just evaporate out of my ears.
Supercilious means behaving or looking as though one thinks one is superior to others. Because I think of supercilious as like...
No, ass kissy. Yeah, whatever. So I said, stop being that way. And it was like, okay, and then it just didn't stop.
It doesn't know how to stop. It can't stop. But I saw there was one... Oh, obsequious?
Obsequious, thank you. Well, you're not going to ask about how things are going with my road to Badonk?
Are you Daniel or who are you now?
I'm Daniel. You know my New Year's resolution.
To develop a Badonk.
Yes.
How are things going on your road to Badonk?
Not great.
Why?
So far. It's only been a few weeks.
Yeah.
And but today, after this, I was hoping to do some exercises, and I'm really gonna
Is it
I'm gonna hit the
Badonk day?
Badonk. Today's Badonk day. There's chest and tries, back and buys, and then Badonk Fridays. Badonk.
What are the Badonk exercises?
Oh boy! I mean, like you do some goblet squats, famous goblet squats, some reverse lunges, some hip thrusts. You could do some Romanian deadlifts. If you do those 4, then you'll be hitting the Badonk. And hopefully.
So there's chest and tries. Is that your triceps? And then back and biceps?
Think of it like pushing exercises versus pulling exercises. So like,
Today at physical therapy, I learned the clam series.
Ooh, what a
Do you
clam
know?
series.
And I literally said the
No.
clam series. You like lay on your it's like leg lifts on this. You lay on your side and you kind of have your knees bent, and then you like lift one knee up like a clamshell opening and closing.
Oh yeah.
And then you can do the reverse clam where you keep your. I just love all the names.
Are they working on your core? They're working on your.
This I think had to do with. I think this is about loosening up your legs and your knees. I had a hip flexor situation.
I am.
My body was not aligned.
I will criticize the whole like manosphere stuff, but I'm telling you, it is so tempting to just march my ass into some wellness center and just say, shoot me up with every peptide that you can get your fucking hands on. Give me all the testosterone and all the things. I want to become freaky looking.
That's tempting to you?
There is something tempting about that. Now, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like the idea of it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like plastic surgery for you. Or it's just like this idea that you could just like
control these things that have
yes,
not
it becomes like I think once you start to do a little, like you start to exercise and you start to see, oh, I can change my body. It's like now I'm going full fucking tilt, baby. I am doing everything. I'm gonna become grotesque. I
wrote about this in the 5 new essays that I wrote for Tropical Attire Encouraged, the anniversary edition. There's something so empowering about being able to completely fit into society's standards of beauty. Yes. It's like, it's weird how these things, other people would be like, how sad you're letting other people dictate how you should look. And yet when you're the one who's sort of in charge of it, you're like, it's so empowering.
Okay. Yes. But here's the yes, you want people to just accept you as who you are, right? You go like, oh, look at me, I'm Daniel Quantz. You should that should be enough for you.
Right.
But Daniel Quantz has been out on the town as a young man, out on the town with one particular friend of mine who is like the ideal handsome. Like
I've heard about
6'4", looks like he, fucking like just could have been a model, like just so fucking handsome. His life experience, when I would go out, I realized his life experience radically different from my life experience. Radically different. Like you go into a bar, the hottest girl in the bar would come up to him.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to become him?
Worst looking girl in the bar would not even come up to me. You know what I mean? Like it's not even the same at all. And you go like, so if I told
people they have a whole different way of living.
So that's just a fucking fact. This is kind of like what we were talking about with the matchmaker. Yeah. But if I could get the idea that like all you have to do is a little bit of a jaw implant, right? Mm-hmm. Just a little jaw implant, a little cheeks, and all of a sudden, break your leg and have it grow a couple inches. This is where the looks maxing stuff. Right. But if you could do that, and suddenly your whole life experience changes from something.
Right, but don't you realize that we're too old to reap the benefits of being
I can't do that now. Yeah. Why would I even? I mean, I'm only trying to look good for you, honey. Oh. I mean, it ain't even working. But
I think you look good.
Thank you, honey. I mean, literally, you're the. It's not like there's another human being out there that I'm trying to look good for. Yeah. And so for me, it's like you, and then there's a part of my brain that's like, let's see how far we can take this. Yeah. That's the part that I'm talking about that I wrestle with. Yes. Wrestle lightly. I'm not really going to do it. But there is that part like, how far can this go?
I know.
I mean, like, you know, you see someone like, look up like Sam Selleck. Selleck, I think that's his name. He's like a bodybuilder, young guy, completely like totally gacked out on steroids, but he looks ridiculous. He's so big, and I look at him. I'm like,
big.
Yeah, he's just like so muscular.
Dick.
And he actually seems like a great guy. Like
Sam Selleck, you say?
Selleck. He seems like a really, really cool guy. This is not a shade on him at all.
Is it Sam Selleck or Sam Selleck MBA?
He's a bodybuilder.
Customized Energy Solutions? Well, I can do this off air. How's Selleck spelled?
SELICK or something?
Oh.
Anyway, point is.
Oh my God.
Point is, this guy has that
There's
mentality.
so many veins.
This guy has a mentality of like he's not trying to be attractive to women. He'll say that.
Yeah. He's gross.
He's just like, how big can I make my fucking thighs?
Sam Selleck.
Selleck, that's it. And there's something about
has like he would look nice if he looked normal.
Oh yeah.
He's like a good-looking guy, except for maybe not.
No, I think he was a handsome guy, but he's just like all about like he just wants to be freaky deaky. Like he wants to have muscles upon muscles upon muscles. And it's like I feel like that temptation of like, oh, I could.
Yeah.
Like I could. All I have to do is just, you know, couple of fucking cc's of whatever the fuck, and all of a sudden I like muscles start growing on my body in freaky ways. Like that is weirdly tempting.
Yeah.
I will never do it because there's tons of side effects, and it's not, but I can definitely see how people do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like, it's not about being attractive anymore to other people, and it becomes about just like
controlling your body and stuff.
Just taking it to the limit.
Ooh, do the ride the snake.
Ride the snake. Anyway.
That is a Jim Carrey line.
One of my favorite SNL sketches.
Yeah.
What was it? I forget the name of the sketch. Whatever.
It's for an energy drink, right?
No, he's playing a guy who's selling weight loss pills, but it's really just crystal meth.
Oh, the reason whenever you take an energy drink, whenever I
drink a 5-hour energy, I go, ride the snake. Yeah.
Well, this has been too much fun, and I didn't even get to everything on the list. Oh, my word. I would be remiss if I didn't.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Tell them about Substack. AlisonRosen.substack.com. Guys, I just posted a Substack. It was, I think, delightful. I was checking, I already posted my New Year's resolutions, and that was a fun list. Got some photos in it. And then I checked in with myself on my New Year's resolutions.
And? Well, you have to subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not behind a paywall. Anyone can read it, but you do have to subscribe to get it. I mean, I can give you a little glimpse.
Yeah, do it. Not so good. Not great.
I mean, look, I've made some progress.
We're 3 weeks in.
I've made some progress.
Okay.
But just not enough. But some.
All right.
I would like to thank Daniel for joining us, and I would like to thank the listeners. Thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show?